For further analysis, Xavier Abu Eid joins us live from Ramallah in the occupied West Bank. He's a political scientist and former communication advisor to the Palestine Liberation Organization. So Xavier, thanks so much for being with us. So I'd like to hear your analysis on what Israel is now doing. We've heard this announcement today that the Israeli military is upping its offensive. It's stopping these so-called tactical pauses. What is going on here?
Thank you, Isabel. I'm really afraid that what Israel is announcing today is the beginning of the end. Basically, they are trying to finish the job they have started. And job, as we have been analyzing here in TRT, it's very simple. We are not inventing anything, and we don't need an intelligence service to know this. They even saying it very openly. It's about ethnic cleansing. It's about forcible displacement. Israeli troops have been entering over the past few hours into a Sabra neighborhood in Gaza City, and they already started the demolition building by building of Zaytuna neighborhood. Now, for those who are not familiar with Gaza, Zaytuna neighborhood is nearby, it's by the old city of Gaza. Basically, you're getting into not just the symbols, but in the very few areas where people were still living, the few neighborhoods, so people were still standing in Gaza City.
And this plan for controlling Gaza City, what's behind that, Xavier? I mean, this is a city that, as we know, is famine-struck, officially recognised in the last few days, though we have seen that coming for some months now. What will it mean for the Israeli military to be in control of Gaza City, and why are they doing that?
Let us start by saying, Isabel, that the city is affected by famine, not by chance. It's a political decision of the Israeli government. And what we are seeing now, what we are witnessing, is the next step. Some people may want our viewers to believe, for example, that a minister like Mr. Smotrich is just an isolated radical. But if you follow his statement, it's exactly what the Israeli government is doing. They are moving ahead with, first of all, cutting food, cutting electricity, and then trying to occupy the areas. But in this case, it's not just about occupying. We're talking about demolishing building after building. It's about making Gaza a place that people will no longer be able to live in, and that's a status where we are now. So it's extremely dangerous for people, and we should remember, I think. Your correspondent, Ashraf, has been doing a fantastic job in showing you that when people have to move from one place to the other, there are many costs, from psychological costs to, of course, as well, economic costs and physical costs. People are exhausted. It's not just about the famine. People are psychologically exhausted. And to be honest with you, I am particularly very concerned about what's going to happen in the next few hours.
Okay, Xavier, and I want to ask you about the global community, if we can call it that. We have seen many stand by and allow the situation to get worse and worse and worse as the months have gone by. Why is Europe so quiet right now? I mean, the European countries, a number of countries actually have joined onto this call saying that they're going to recognise a Palestinian state. But does that even mean anything? Will there be any Palestinian state to recognise by the time that comes around, when they say they're going to do it near the end of this year?
Let us be clear, Isabel. Recognizing the state of Palestine, it's a positive step. It's a good step forward and should be appreciated. But the point here is, what's the reason behind recognizing the state of Palestine? If it is about honoring the Palestinian right to self-determination, the long overdue right to self-determination, then it's a correct step. But if they expect to end the genocide, it's not. I am afraid some countries are just trying to save face in front of their own public opinions that are demanding action. And the action needed at this stage is for sanctions to be imposed on Israel, is for countries not to open their airspace to Benjamin Netanyahu, wanted by the ICC for war crimes and crimes against humanity, on his way to the General Assembly in the UN in New York. In other words, we need concrete measures that will target those who are behind this genocide. What we can say so far is that particularly Europe has been in a situation whereby some countries like Spain, Ireland, or Slovenia have been taken the lead individually, while the European Commission with Ursula von der Leyen, the European Union in general, with Mrs. Callas, is at its worst state when it comes to Palestine.
Xavier Abu Eid, former communication advisor to the Palestine Liberation Organization. Thank you so much for your time and analysis.
Thank you, Isabel.